ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपादं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमतास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमतास्य पद्म पादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोडकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वशिष्ठान्ते वसदृषिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राग्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमहायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकमसत्कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यः साक्षात्करणात् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनितौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नानाचित्रघटोदरस्थितमहादीपप्रभाभास्वरं ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकरणद्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव बान्धमनुभात्येतत्समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। इदं जगत् असदपि sadiva vasade mrisha eva etat sarvam. This is established through various arguments, and therefore in 29 Ullasa, Tasma Satta Puratacha Bhavanam Ishvara Ashraya Anashraya Satyam Jnanam Anantam Cha Shrutya Brahma Upadishyate. Shrutya Brahma Upadishyate. Shruti Vakyena, Upanishad Vakyena, Brahmanaha Tattvam Upadishyate. Kim Tattvam? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Iti Tattvam. Existence, consciousness, and eternality is the nature of Brahman. Tasmat Bhavanam Satta, Vishayanam Satta, Jagataha Satta, Ishvara Ashraya. Ishvara Ashrayena Jagat Bhati. World appears taking the support of Ishvaraha. Yata Sarpaha Rajau. Just like the snake appears to be on the rope, taking the support of the rope. Yavat Jagat Drishyate Tavat na Brahmam Brahmam na Drishyate. Brahma is not known so long as we only see the Jagat. In the beginning stages, one understands Jagataha Karanam Ishvaraha iti. One thinks that the cause of the world is Ishvaraha. Tadanantaram vicharena jnayate. After that, by the vichara, one comes to know Jagataha Karanam, the cause of the world, cannot be Brahman, cannot be Ishvaraha. Why it is so? Because Jagat Jadam Tata Ishvaraha is Chetana. Jagat Chetanat na Karyam Karya na Jagat Chetana Rupat Brahmanaha Karyam na Bhavati. Jagat, the Jadam, cannot be a product of Brahman or the Chaitanya Rupam, Paramatma. Atava Chetanatma Jadam na Bhavati. Nor even the Chetana Atma becomes Jadam. Na Karanam, na Parimanam. It neither can be a cause, nor it is that the Chaitanya Paramatma has become the world. Atava Jadam Chetanasya Karanam na Bhavati. Not even the consciousness can be a product of the Jada Swarupa, Padartha, all the Padarthas. So, Panchabhutani na Karanani Brahmanaha. The 5 elements cannot be the cause of the creation of life. So, there is definitely no Karya Karana relationship between Ishvaraha and Jagat. Ishvaraha Karanam jagat karyam iti kadachit na sambhavati. Karya karana sambandha, karana karya sambandha is not possible. So now the possibility is only one. Either we take Brahman to be real or Jagat has to be real. One of them has to be real, other one must be false. Yadi Jagat Satyam Chet. If the world is real, that means you are considering Jadam as real. If the world is real, the Jadam is real, Achetana Jagat is real. Tasya bhasata, that is ability to shine itself, comes from where? Who knows its existence? Jadam jadam na janati. An inert thing cannot know the inert thing. Two inert things cannot know itself, each other, much less it can know itself. So swayam na janati jadam, anyam na janati jadam. Ekaha gataha anyam gadam na janati. A part cannot know other part. Therefore, Jada Rupa Jagat na Satyam. It cannot be Satyam, it cannot be real because its reality is depending upon something else. Its reality is depending upon something else other than itself, and the other one has to be Chaitanya. It has to be something conscious. So its own existence is questionable. Therefore, tasmat sattas puratacha bhavananam ishwarashrayat. So only possibility of existence of the world, if at all perceived as so, or knowing of the world is possible only because of the support with which it is sustained. That is Ishvaraha. And therefore, Ishvara eva is referred as Satyam Jnanam Anantam iti. Continuing in the verse number 30. Jagraswapnayoro Jagraswapnodbhavam sarvam asatyam jadamandavat Ishvaraschahamityeva Vasade sarvajantushu. Jagrat Swapna Udbhavam Sarvam Asatyam. Jagradutbhavam Sarvam Swapnodbhavam Sarvam Asatyam. Whatever is born in the waking state, or whatever is known in the waking state, whatever is known in the sleep or dream, asatyam. Asatyam, unreal, by itself it cannot prove its reality. Jadam andavat. Why jadatvam? Ajadatvat asatyam and paradinatvat andavat. Jadatvat asatyam. That is the Ketu. Karanam, why it is said asatyam? It is jadatvat. Jadatvat, inert by itself. Asatyam, unreal, in the sense that it has not proven its own reality without the help of the Ishvaraha, which is the Ashraya, which is the support. Then Andavat is because Paradinatvat, because it always depending upon something else for its own existence. Jagataha Asatyatvam. ajadatvam iti. But at the same time, you and me don't feel aham jada. Though some of us are clearly behaving like jadam only, good for nothing. But aham jadam iti kopi na manyate. So no one feels aham jadam. So aham, always I feel, I am aware. So Ishvarascha aham. Sarva jantushu aham iti Ishvaraha basate. Ishvaraha scha aham iti sarva jantushu basate. In every living being, the Ishvaraha is expressing himself as aham. I am. Every living being, in his own words, in its own feeling, even as human being, we may say aham, aham asmi. Every language, that language may be different, but every language there is this expression, I am, aham. Whether you say it in a form of words or you have it as an inner feeling of your own existence without any external dependence or with external support or proof. Every one of us at all times know our own presence. Sarva jantushu ahamidi ishvaraha basate. Now, one may say, maybe only in the human being, aisa nahi hai. In all living beings, anything which is at a jadam, which is not a jadam, which is not inert, whether it is tavaram va, jangamam va, whether it is animal, bird, trees, human, aquatic creatures, even small ants, small, even the krimis, they are all constantly are aware of their own presence. They may not say in the same language where you and I speak, or they may not even express it, but they know it. I am. Think of it. Even a small mosquito which is troubling you wants to exist. By sucking your blood, it wants to exist. I am. So even that small anoho aniyan mahato mahiyan atmasya janto nihitam guhayam. Jantoho guhayam nihitam. Hridaya guhare nihitam. It is there in the even the smallest of the things that you can see or don't see also. Ishvaraha aham aham iti sarvata bhasade. Always is present. Sarva jantushu. Yaha aham iti sarva jantushu bhasade sa ishvaraha eva iti yojana. Now, how does he express, how does this Ishvaraha express in us? Aham, right? This aham itself is ahankar. ये दूसरा परिणाम है आपको, we have to start thinking in that. ये जो अहंकार है, what we call it as ego, has no existence, really speaking. But this Paramatma, the Ishvaraha, ahankara rupena sarvada sarva bhuteshu tishtati. He alone, the ahankar is the expression of Ishvaraha. Now when we say Ishvaraha, we actually mean Brahman only. In this context, we are referring to him as Ishvaraha. Because the context is with respect to the world. So what are the three kinds of ahankar? It is said here, nirvikalpascha shuddhascha malinaschetyaham trida nirvikalpam param brahma Nirdhuta kila kalpanam. Tulantakara dhumabra. Nirmukta gaganopamam. Tridha aham tridha bhavati. Nirvikalpaha ekaha. Shuddhaha dvitiyaha. Malinaha iti tritiyaha. Tridha aham bhasate. In three forms, ahankar, and actually, which is none other than Brahma Tattvam in all of us, Ishvaraha, three ways he expresses. In that, Nirvikalpam Param Brahma. In that, it is Nirvikalpam. Nirvikalpam means what? One without any kind of vikalpa, change, modification. Nirvikalpam, unchanging nature is Param Brahma. And what is Nirvikalpa Bhava? Nirduta Akila Kalpanam. What is Nirduta Akila Kalpanam? Nirasta Samasta Visheshataya Aham iti Avabhasamanaha Atma Brahma iti eva yartaha. Brahma eva ityartaha. Where there is no change at all, no modification at all, in its absolute immaculate nature, when it is present, it is called Brahman. It is Brahman. And that is what is attempted in a Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where all the Vikalpanas are set aside, all the various modifications that take place due to thoughts, and thoughts are due to desires, desires are due to vasanas, vasanas are due to ajnanam. So when we go back to the cause, we slowly understand, unless the cause is removed, merely removing the effect will not work. आपको यदि समाधि में बैठना है, उसमें पहला होना चाहिए क्यों? निवृत्ति, चित्त वृत्ति निवृत्ति होना चाहिए. Thought has to end, and ending of the thoughts can happen only when there is no desire, no dependence, no expectations, no wants, and that merely stopping the thought by force, by as a discipline, will not really lead to anything longer. For a longer period of time, you can't do that. For a short period of time, yes, like sleep. So if thought has to be arrested, by what means you can arrest the thought or come to and bring an end to the thought? The source of the thought being desires. And the desires are caused by what? Vasanas. So unless the inherent tendencies are brought to an end, they are weakened, thoughts will continue to come. In the form, desires will come and then thoughts will come. Thought will keep the mind engaged, keep the mind busy. So what is the cause of the vasanas, or what is that which is pushing the vasanas to expression? Ajnanam. Ajnanam is what? I do not know that I am blissful self. So instead of removing the thoughts, or individually removing the desires, or fighting with the vasanas, what Vedanta tells us is, know yourself to be Brahman and assert yourself. Aham Brahma iti. Aham Brahma, Aham Purnam, Aham Sat, Aham Anandam. I'm complete, I'm full, I'm bliss. And all the joys that I'm experiencing because of the world are all caused by this Brahman only, which is I am. So here Nirvikalpam, in that Param Brahma, Nirduta, completely removed. What? Akila Kalpanam, Akila Vikaram, all modifications. And example is given, Drishtantam idamaha. What is that? Dhuli, Andakara, Dhuma, Abra, Nirmukta, Gagana Upamam, Akasha Upamam. Upamam equal to Sadrasham, Samam, Agasha Sadrasham, like that of the space. Space without what? Dhuli. Dhuli means dust. Andakara, darkness. Dhuma, smoke. Abra, clouds. All these things are found to be in the space. When there is a dusty wind, then the whole space is filled with dust. Or when the sun is not there, the total darkness. Or if it is a rainy day, then it will be filled with a lot of clouds. Or there is some kind of a fire somewhere, therefore entire place is forest fire. When it takes place, there is a full with smoke. When none of these things are there, how the clear sky can be seen? Without any, disturbance, you can see the pure, clear sky. In the same way, here the Dhuli probably representing the Rajovritti, Andakara is Tamovritti, and Dhuma and Abra, they may represent all the kleshas. When all these are all removed, Rajovritti tata Tamovrittihi tata kleshadi, so various kleshas are also removed, how the Ahankar, the very I sense, without any of those modifications, remains as pure Brahman. Like that of a sky which is not occupied by anything else. Because sky does not change, sky appears to change with the dust, clouds, etc. Similarly, Brahman does not change, but Brahman appears to have changed its nature because of the avarana, vikshepa and various kleshas, kama, krodha, ityadi. So, this ahankaraha itself is three types: nirvikalpaha, shuddhaha, malinaha. In that nirvikalpa nature of the ahankar is Brahman. Now, what about this? The next one, which is referred here as Shuddha. So it looks similar. So that is said in the next verse. Shuddha Hankar kya hai? Nirvikalpa Hankar Brahma hai. Shuddha Hankar kya hai? Where Sattva is predominant. That is why Bhagavan Krishna also again and again Nitya Sattvasto Bhava Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam. Very many places he has brought importance of Sattva to overcome the disturbances of Rajas and Tamas. So, what is the nature of Sattva? Jnanam. So, that is where the Sattva has become Pradhana, then it is called Shuddha Hankar. As it is said in verse number 32 here, Viveka Samaye Shuddham Dehadinam Vyapohanat. yatantariksham sankshipta nakshatrai kinchidikshate. Viveka samaye, vichara samaye, jnana abhyasa samaye. What is jnana abhyasa here? Dehadinam vyapohanam jnana abhyasa. Deha adinam, deha manaha buddhi aham iti ajnanena yajnayate tat vyapohanam jnana margena jnana pramanena va jnana sadhanena va. By the practice of knowledge, vichar करने के समय देह अहम न, बुद्धि ही अहम न, मनः अहम न इति vichara samaye. When a person is doing the vichara, doing the inner discrimination properly, deliberation upon the reality, comes to have a complete understanding that even though I am operating through, transacting through, engaging through body, mind and intellect, yet I am not this. These are all my instruments through which I am functioning, but they are not me. They are in me, I am not in them. Dehadinam vyapohanat shuddham. Because of the elimination of viveka samaye dehadinam anatmatvena aham avabhasya tvasya vyapohanat parichedaka abhavat shuddhameva atmatattvam brahma bhasate ityartha. Parichedaka abhavat. They are not anymore conditioning the self, Atman, because of the understanding they are false. Not that one rejects, I am not this. I know it is there, but it is false. As much as a person looking at the snake without touching the rope, which is the nature of the original nature of the thing, which appears to be snake, he doesn't need to even touch that snake or beat it as anything. When he analyzes and recognizes that as the rope, that very moment the appearance of the snake disappears. In the same way, Viveka Samaye, when a person does the deeper contemplation and comes to realize that Aham Brahma, na manaha, na buddhihi, na ahankaraha, they, all of them are merely abhyasitaha, adhyasitaha, not abhyasita, adhyasitaha, aropitaha eva, swarupena mithya eva. By the very nature, they are illusion, they are superimposed only. In this way, when the clarity comes to the mind of the person, in that time, Shuddha Ahankar. That is a time Sattva is predominant. Rajas and Tamas are gone, and Sattva is purely present. And there he gets the glimpse of Brahman. मैं ब्रह्म हूं ऐसा little bit he comes to have a glimpse of it, and it can be established as permanent only in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So it is what, how is that? Yata, just like antariksham, the interspace or space, kinchidikshate, a little is seen. Like what? Sankshipta nakshaitraihi, like the star-studded space, without clouds, without dust, without smoke, but stars are there. And between the stars, you can see the space which is plain, clean, without anything. Because the question is, Naiva Atma Kadabi Basade Ityashankya, how is that Brahman can be, Atman can be known? Viveka Samaye Dehadina Manatmatvena Aham Bhasyattvasya Vyapohanat Parichetaka Bhava Chuddhameva Atmatattvam Brahma Bhasade Ityarthaha Viveka Samaye Bhasamanam Akaram Drishtantena Spashtayan Yasya Sakshat Brahma Bhavat Visheshamavaha Sankshipta Nakshatraihi Upashanta, where the Sankshipta Nakshatraihi with the star-studded space, then where in that place Nakshatraihi Prakashaihi Upalakshitam Antariksham Akasham Yada Kinchidikshate Edi Ishanakalasya Kinchitvam Kinchitva Abhiprayam Evam Ityartha. So that is the reason why Shravana Samaye, actually when a person doing this Shravanam carefully with the mind attentive to the Guru's words, a Kinchit Avagamyate. Kinchit Ikshade. The Brahma Tattvam is, the glimpse of it can be experienced. Where the mind has elevated to the sattvic level, there is no desire at this point. There is no disturbances because of asanas. There is no other distraction in the mind. In that particular condition, the mind has elevated to sattvic nature of very clearly eliminating one's own misunderstanding of one's own body, mind, etc. At that point, aham brahma eva kimanyat. That very state is like that of seeing the sky in between the stars. It is not completely gone. The thoughts may appear suddenly because of Purvakrita karma or vasanas, but one is able to have a glimpse of the Brahman. So this is how it is explained. That is called Shuddha Ahankar. So, and what is Malina Ahankaraha? Dehendriyadi samsargat Malinam kalushikritam Yadahankaram tamorudam Yadakasham tamorudam Sporatyanavakashavat Deha Indriyadi Samsargat Sanyogat. Because of the continuous attachment to body, senses, mind, intellect, etc., it is definitely seen in our own life. When is the time when we are not associated with anything? Either with the Deha or with the Manovrittihi, always with the Buddhi and its speculations. If at all, sleep. So there is no time where we are free of this. We don't even attempt. That's why in Upanishads clearly say, Vivikta deshe cha sukhasanastha. One has to attempt the solitude. What is solitude? Soul attitude. Aham soul. That is the attitude. मैं किसका भर्ता नहीं हूँ, भार्या नहीं हूँ. I am not a son or a mother, father or mother or daughter, husband or wife. मैं ऐसा कोई, I am not व्यक्ति नहीं है. I am not a individual relative existence. Aham, I am the soul. I am the Atman here. My only relation is with the Paramatma. I am a pure soul and I have no relationship. I am not even considering myself as human also. I am just a soul which has no, not even a gender. So I am pure being. In this way, Vivikta Desha Sevitvam is considered as one of the practices in Bhagavad Gita. Aradir Jana Samsatihi, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. So there, Vivikta Desha Sevitvam, that remaining in solitude will make us able to consolidate the Shuddha Hankar, Sattva Pradhana Hankar. Otherwise, we are all the time what? Dehendriyadi samsargat malinam kalushi kritam. Completely contaminated, polluted. Like what? Yata tamorudam akasham, dark indeed, the akasha, spurati, appears anavakashavat, as though there is no space. As though there is absolutely no space at all. Anavakashavat. Avakasha means space. Anavakashavat. Where there is no space, there is no availability of a thing called even space in their darkness. In the same way, mind, intellect, buddhi, the indriyas and body, etc., occupying us every time. If it is not one, it is the other. If not one, this one or two, it's everyone. No time we are free of this. So when we are thus preoccupied with all these which one is not, because of misunderstanding, one constantly associated with one or the other, and it is very, very strange that people cannot feel comfortable if they are not associated with one of them. If you tell anybody that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, you are not this, then what am I? So it is not possible for people to even think that I can be independent of all this. It's very hard, extremely hard, because of the swabhava, or afraid that one will lose the joy derived out of them. Many people don't even come to such satsangas because they are afraid that they will lose interest in all other things, and that will cause them misery. Then I will have no interest in dealing with people, or no interest in fighting with others, no interest in enjoying the things. Then what am I? I'll be looked at by everybody as a unique and a useless one, unproductive. So there is this fear. So dehendriyadi samsargad malinam kalushi kritam yata akasham tamuranam spurati anavakashavat parichinnam iti artha. Deha indriyadi samsargad parichinnavat tishtati. So conditioned by all of them. But if at all one able to reach that state of nirvikalpa, then what is he? Uttama ahambhava balam. What is the supreme nature of this aham? Brahma rupam aham. What is that nature? Ahamityeshwaram bhavam yata jiva prabudhyate sarvajna sarvakarta cha tada jivo bhavishyati. Yata jivaha prabudhyate wakes up. Supyate sleeps. Prabudhyate wakes up. So when a person wakes up, like a person waking up from a dream, upon waking up from the dream, he has no relationship what happened with the dream. It's completely given up. He will not go back to live whatever relationship he had with the dream wife and dream husband, dream children, dream car, etc. There's no possibility, not also interested. Similarly, as the person who wakes up from the dream has no more relationship with the dream world, yata jivaha prabudyate, then what does he comes to have as a firm knowledge of oneself? Aham Ishwaram iti bhavam. So, who am I? This aham, this awareness is Ishvara bhava. This aham is this I in me, in all of them. Of course, it's not my special one. This very I in everyone, which is now I experience as me, aham, is Ishvaraha. And who is the Ishvaraha? Sarvajnaha, Sarvakarta. This Ishvara is Sarvajnaha, Sarvakarta. Tada Jivaha Bhavishyati. Sarvajnaha, Sarvakarta Bhavishyati. So he will become akin to the Ishvaraha, who is Sarvakarta, doer of everything, Sarvajnaha, knower of everything. Now, does this mean to say that a person who has reached this state of oneness with the self, Brahman, through Nirvikalpa Samadhi, will become Ishvara? There is an answer called yes and no. Yes, there is no other answer to that. Yes, he will become one with the Ishvara, he will become that Brahman. But then, no, because his physical conditions will stop it. In the sense, when he wakes up from this Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and because of the prarabdha that is holding the physical body to exist, even though he is one with the Ishvaraha, but Ishvara's body he doesn't have. Ishvara's body is what? Sahasra Shirsha Purusha. He has all the bodies, all the hands, all the legs, all the eyes, all the heads, all the ears. So even though he has that power, but since the equipment through which he is expressing being limited, he will limited in the limited way, he will express in the limited way, but in that limit he will go to the extreme limit. Extreme expression. That is why Bhagavan Krishna says, Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate. उसमें इतना प्रकाश होगा, प्रकाश माने brilliance, and that brilliance is unlimited, but limited by only the body that through which he is expressing. We have seen, I mean, if we have seen, personally I have seen in Gurudev, but many of you, if you have seen any of the Mahatmas, you can clearly see how that Ishvaraha, the brilliant presence of the Lord, trying to express the maximum out of that person. The equipments obviously will condition it. But he's never conditioned by the equipment otherwise. That is the beauty. And so even though Sarvajnaha, Sarvakarta, Ishvaraha, Jiva Bhavishyati, yet, Kintu Sarvajnatvadi Upalakshyate Ishvara Swarupena Abhivyaktaha Bhavishyati Ityartaha. The manifestation of Ishvara will take place in that person because there is no conditioning. There's no limit. There's no limit otherwise. Like Ajnanam is not there. Impurities are not there. Thought agitations are not there. Desires are not there. Vasanas are not there. Then what will limit him? Only the Prarabdha Krita Deha Ityadi. Only the body which is product of prarabdha will apparently stop him. So that is why it is said that when the Mahatma, when he gives up the body, he doesn't go anywhere, because already Ishvara has sarvavyapi. And so wherever he has left the body, or wherever the body is given samadhi, there Ishvara rupena tishtadi. As a brilliant presence of Ishvara, he will remain there. And that's why the samadhi sthala of Mahatmas are so very important for the devotees and disciples, because it's a place where the Mahatma is now able to express unlimited way, because the limitation is gone in him and there. So aham iti ishwaram bhavam yata jivaha prabudyate. Continuing here, mayayadika sammudaha vidyayesha prakashate nirvikalpanusandhane samyagatma prakashate. शुद्धात्म भाने प्रयत्नस्य आवश्यकता. तो क्या प्रयत्न करना चाहिए हमको? ये निर्विकल्प समाधि के लिए हमको क्या प्रयत्न करना है? मायया अधिक सम्मूढ़ः. presently मायया sammudah, adhika sammudah, Ishwarah. Presently, this very pure Brahman, obscured as though by the Maya, vidyaya prakashate. Ishaha vidyaya prakashate. Vidyaya prakashate Ishaha. Ishwarah mayaya sammudah Ishwarah vidyaya eva prakashate. This presently deluded as though by Maya, by knowledge alone gets revealed. Katam anyasya anyatmana abhivyakti tatviki. One may think that a jiva becomes Ishvara means there are two of them here. Because A becomes B when you say, how can one become the other? ऐसा नहीं है. एक जीव है, एक ईश्वर है. एक जीव ईश्वर हो सकता है. कैसे हो सकता है? एक आदमी एक दूसरा आदमी नहीं बन सकता. A person cannot become another person. ये दो नहीं है यहाँ पे. यहाँ ईश्वर ही जीव है, जीव ही ईश्वर है. अभी जीव ईश्वर मायया सम्मूढ़ः ईश्वरः जीव इति वर्तते. Presently, the Ishvara alone, as though deluded by Maya, is behaving like a jiva. Tasmat anyastasya jiva ishvaryoho maya nibandhanat. Maya nibandhanat. Only factor that is distinguishing Ishvara and jiva is the Maya. Tasmat maya nivrittaye. Because of the removal of the Maya, nirvikalpa आत्म अवभासने यत्न कार्य है. तो यत्न करना है, प्रयत्न करना ही चाहिए ये माया को हटाने के लिए. So that how vidyaya eva maya अपन माया नाशनम भवति और अविद्या नाशनम भवति. So vidyaya ईशः प्रकाशते. How that is practiced? Nirvikalpa anusandhane samyagatma prakashate. Nirvikalpa anusandhan, meaning practice of nirvikalpa. Practice of viveka first, because of which alone one can overcome misunderstanding through knowledge. And then afterwards, as the sattva starts to increase, itself cancels itself slowly. Because Rajas and Tamas should be overcome first. One cannot directly go without the help of the Jnanam, born out of Sattva. One cannot force the Rajas and Tamas to quit without the help of Sattva. So therefore, through Sattva overcome Rajas and Tamas, and having this cleared the Avarana and Vikshepa, Viveka Jnanam, the knowledge that is now fully able to outshine all others, will come to disappear by itself, and giving place for pure Brahman alone to remain. So this is how the beautiful verse number 4 is concluded. That is to say, Jnanam yasya chakshuradikarnat bhara vihispande janamiti tameva vantam anubhati etat samastam jagat tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. And that very Ishvara is Dakshinamurti himself, which is worshipped as Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti is not another deity, it is Jnana Swarupa Paramatma eva Dakshinamurti. Maya Rahita Paramatma, Maya Rahita Paramatma is Dakshinamurti. So that is, here it is said in the last verse, Avidya Kyadi Rodana Vyapaye Parameshwarah Dakshinamurti Ruposau Swayameva Prakashate. Avidya Akhya, Avidya Nama, Tirodana, obscuring, the power to obscure, Vyapaye, on the elimination, Avidyakya Tirodana Vyapaye, on the elimination of the one which is obscuring the nature of the self, which is known as Avidya, Tasmin apaye, tasya apaye. Parameshwaraha, then the supreme presence of the Lord, Dakshinamurti Rupaha asau, none other than Dakshinamurti, Swayameva Prakashate, it's self-revealing itself. So Dakshinamurti will reveal himself as our own Aham, awareness on the elimination of the Tirodana, the veil that covers, the veil that is obscuring the vision of Atman, and which is known as Avidya. See, when we engage in sadhana, jnana sadhana, what the Guru is trying to lead us to is, through the scriptures, is to overcome a Tirodhana, an obscuring veil within us known as Avidya. Vidyaya Avidya Nivrittihi. And the same Vidya, Atma Vidya, Mayam api Nashayati, and this is not easily accepted by people, because one feels, even as one gets revealed to the self within upon the removal of avidya through the help of vidya, the knowledge, how can that will reveal me Ishvara? Because Ishvara is said to be someone outside someone other than oneself, someone which is more powerful, one who is a sustainer of the entire world. How can removing the avidya in my mind, in myself, will reveal to me Ishvara? That's why Ramana Maharshi said, Veshahanataha Swatmadarshanam Ishadarshanam Swatmarupataha. That is, removal of this avidya itself is removal of Maya, which is apparently the covering upon the Ishvara. So one has to find the link between individual ignorance and the one that is obscuring the vision of God. In the path of bhakti, Bhagavan Krishna says in Gita, other way around, if you are completely surrendering your mind and intellect in me, Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayeva mayasakta mana partha yunjan madashrayah. Mayasakta mana partha. So mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya atma sanyasya matparaha. Those people who are giving up everything in my sake, keeping their mind in me, Tesham evanukam partam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami. Also it is said by Bhagavan, Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nijarat partha maya aveshita chetasam. So those who are completely surrendering to me, leaving every other thought other than me, then I uplift them. It is my responsibility to make them realize their self. Upon they completely removing their any other thought and except me. So in the Bhakti Marga, you go to surrender to the Lord and totally giving up your individual identity and then recognize the Lord alone is everything, and then with no other thought, Ananya Bhakteya. Ananya Bhaktya, so one who has total non-deviating devotion to him, Maya metam tarantite. Bhagavan says, then they cross over the Maya. Once they are removed the Maya, the avidya also gone. So externally, with the surrender to the Lord, you overcome Maya, and Bhagavan's responsibility it is to remove avidya in your mind. On the other hand, in the jnanam, when you attempt to remove your avidya here, Maya outside also gets removed. So that is the difference one should understand, but it is not deviated. It is not deviation. It is one and the same, but the approach is a little different. It is inside out or outside in. That is what we have to know. Iti Sri Dakshinamoorty Stotrartha Pradibadake Pradapapande Manasollase Chaturtha Ullasa Sangraha. Thus the fourth verse is complete, and Ullasa is also complete. Now we'll take up in the next session verse number 5. It starts with arguments from Charvakas. Okay. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.